to listen to the Lap Traffic Podcast.
What is up, Lap Traffic Nation? Welcome to episode 280 of the Lap Traffic Podcast. I'm your host, the Professor Brandon Crowd. Hope you all had a fantastic Memorial Day weekend. 280, 20 shows away from 300. Gonna have to do something big whenever that rolls around. Used to do a show a week, sometimes two a week. I'd have said 20 episodes. I could have knocked that out in a couple months, but we take some breaks here, with a 3-month-old. So we'll see when that comes around, but just know that it'll be big. It'll be epic. It'll be huge. All right, there's that. Hope you all had a great weekend. It was so busy for us. The golf league got rained out last Thursday. Had some friends over Friday, smoked some ribs. Saturday helped a friend move. Sunday did some running around before the 500 and 600. Chilled outside. Monday I hung out with the neighbors, smoked some chops and chicken. Great weather. In memory to serve those, to salute those that served that are no longer with us there. So, man, if you know someone that lost their life and all that, trying to defend and serve this great country, thank you very much. So there you have it. All right, let's see. What's going on tonight? Well, here's what I can tell you. When I've taken a week off, I try to deliver. Last time when I took a week off, I came back and followed it up with Colleague Racing. And tonight is no different, and it's going to be a unique one and a fun one tonight, because coming up in just a minute, NASCARCASM, yes, the NASCARCASM is going to be back, and we're going to talk, have some fun. And a little later in the show, right before the right before the social media segment, I'm going to have Atlanta Racing and Throwback Brand on at the same time. If you've been paying attention or if you're new to the show, you may have followed because of some giveaways that Atlanta Racing is doing, that I have sent some merch to, as well as the Throwback Brand, which I love the merch that they have, and was like, hey, you know what? You guys help me get to 6,000 followers. Let's get you on the show. Let's hear your stories and have some fun. And I'll be honest, I recorded that last week, and I will tell you that you will enjoy it. They've got great content to deliver for us here a little bit later in the show, as well as great merch and great giveaways. And I'm going to have a giveaway that, if you're listening to this, it's up. So go check it out as well. So giving away stuff. Lots of stuff. So that's who's going to be on. Some brief recaps from Charlotte, because everyone else is going to be talking about it as well with me here. Some social media shout outs, some new follower shout outs. Neudorff, who is a Indy native and is a NASCAR fan because of Indy. We're going to have a little extended weather segment, because he's going to talk about the Indy 500 because he was there, as well as Chasm was there as well. Lucky Dog lap down picks and fantasy. So lots to do. It's going to be a fun one tonight. Got some stuff in the mix for next week already as well. So I'm pretty pumped. So let's get the show underway, and let's get Kaz on the line. All right, Lap Traffic Nation, joining me on the line, making his 8th appearance on the show. He's known for his incredible content on Twitter and at NASCAR.com, such as fake text to drivers, the very famous Peeps 400, along with other great content. He's been a huge supporter of the show. Welcome back to the Lap Traffic Podcast, NASCARCASM. Kaz, what's up, brother? How are you, man?
I am fantastic. Hey, what do I get once I'm up to my 10th appearance? Is there any sort of free merch, free handout that I get?
There is there's a really cool certificate and all that goes out. So, the sooner you want to get that, we can just book you back-to-back weeks if we need to.
You know what? I will clear some walls. I will clear some wall space for
awesome.
that. You know what I'll do? I'll actually I will take down my journalism degree and replace it with that, since that is actually more valuable.
Well, I appreciate that, man. That's awesome. I love it. So what's new? It's been a minute, man.
Not much. We're coming off my gosh, what an insane Sunday that was of the greatest day in motorsports.
Yes.
The weirdness at the start of Monaco, Scott Dixon not understanding Indianapolis speed limits, and my Lord, where did that Coca-Cola 600 come from? I have a theory. Brandon.
Okay.
It's that the Charlotte Oval was watching how insane the Roval was acting and how crazy it was behaving and decided, you know what? Identity theft. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to unleash the most insane, bizarre, wreck-filled, just crazy Coca-Cola 600 I possibly can. And my gosh, did it. It went from Hank White to Walter White to Heisenberg pretty quickly.
I love it, man. The Charlotte Oval had a hold my beer moment to the Charlotte Roval.
Yes, it did. And now what's going to happen is, if you think about it, the Roval and the Oval are basically roommates, and they now have to out crazy each other. And I am so looking forward to that. The Roval saw what happened. It's like, well, I got to top that. And so Lord knows what will happen at the Roval, man. We get to basically watch them bicker and try to one-up each other, and I am so here for that, Brandon.
It'd be like a divorced, an old couple that's, arguing over divorce for 10 years and seeing what they can come up with.
But they still have to live together.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a great way to put it. I love it. That's going to make the highlight audio tweet. There is something from the last minute there in the show for sure. So
yes,
fantastic. I love it. All right. Well, before we get into the races, as far as new things, the listeners know I've got a new kid, but you've got a new microwave. So, we didn't have the P400. So are we going to see it again?
So here's what happened. Okay, now typically the Peeps 400, what it was a thrilling, enthralling worldwide event meant to fill in the Sunday of Easter, because typically there was no race. Well, as you know, there was a race. We had Bristol Dirt on that day.
Yeah.
Now, not wanting to steal all the thunder from the Bristol Dirt race, I decided, you know what? I'm a good employee. I'm polite. I'm considerate. I am going to hold my event. I'm not going to run it to compete side by side with the Bristol Dirt race. And so I called it off, and tell you what, I was not prepared for the uprising on social media, angry tweets, angry calls, just a disappointed world. And so I promised at some point we are going to have it at a postponed date. That date has yet to be determined,
okay.
But I promise it will happen in this calendar year.
I love it.
Like I said, it will happen. It absolutely will happen.
Beautiful. I know the lap traffic faithful are excited for that down the road for sure.
Yeah, like the way I see it, if that Eric Church guy can basically cancel a concert to attend the Final Four, I can cancel the Peeps 400 and run it at a later date. And you know what? Deal with it.
Yeah. Beautiful. All right, man. So Indy, you were there. You're from Indy. It's part of tradition for you. Did you go as a fan? Did you go media/fan? Talk us through your day out at the race.
Oh, very much a fan. I was pretty much dead set on concentrating on our good friend Jimmy Johnson. Well, he's not I say that facetiously. He doesn't care about me, but I was really, really curious and to see how he would perform in the Indy 500 because, as you don't just hop into an Indy car and rip 233 mile an hour laps in qualifying as a rookie. It takes practice. It takes, learning and so on. And I was really curious how we would do it. And, I was so bummed out when he was like that close to finishing the race, which in and of itself is a really big accomplishment. And he had run himself a pretty good race up until that point, for what we expected. And, when he hit that wall and brought out that final caution, it was just, oh, man. But, I respect the hell out of Jimmy. I always have. You have to for a 7-time champion.
Yeah.
And like I said, he didn't he didn't undertake he didn't do this because he thought it would be easy. I don't think Jimmy Johnson does anything because he thinks it would be easy. The guy does marathons, triathlons, this, that, and the other. He does difficult things. And so, that's why it was such an admirable thing for him to give this a go. And in qualifying, he made the fast 12. That's really impressive for a rookie. And so, all things considered, really proud. And what we're going to start doing, Brandon, is starting now until next May, we are going to casually drop into conversation subliminally on Twitter. Boy, just think about how crazy it's going to be when he runs the double next year. And now here's the thing: we're not suggesting it. We're not saying, "Hey, Jimmy Johnson, you should think about running the double this year." We're merely talking as if it's actually happening. And, it's much easier to kind of subliminally weasel that into his brain that way.
I love that.
And, let's just plant that seed now.
I think we can do that. Are you going to make the trip up to Detroit for this weekend's Grand Prix at Detroit, or no?
No, actually. I've actually got to go to California. My nephew's graduating from high school.
Awesome.
And I'm not missing that. If not, I would definitely be actually heading to St. Louis for the race at WWT Raceway there in St. Louis. As I said, it's a track so difficult and challenging that no driver has ever won a Cup Series race there.
It's crazy. I mean,
I know that's hard.
At some point, someone's going to do it, but
but who knows when, Brandon? Who knows when?
That's great. I love it. Let's see here. What else do we got? The finish to the 500 was Jimmy obviously bringing out that caution there. Still ended under caution, but gave the fans the show. I don't think the finish would have changed had they been able to race back. I think it was pretty much in hand after the first crazy restart, or the first lap of that restart there.
Yeah, I believe so. And, I will never understand the stress or quick decision-making you have to make in race control. So I will never criticize race control no matter what the series. But, if you think about it, when they called that red flag, I guess if you were to weigh it out, you would have probably, I don't know how many different necessarily how many employees the Marcus Ericsson team itself had. But let's say it's 20 there, driver and team. You have 20 people who are really, really mad there's a red flag. Yep. And then 325,000 who are probably yes. So I guess you weigh it out, the happiness versus the disappointment in that red flag. But,
absolutely.
It all worked out. It worked out the way it was supposed to. He was still able to handle Pato O'Ward off despite, Pato making that gutsy last-ditch effort.
Oh, man.
And, it was very, very exciting. And, so, and another thing that we were actually talking about is what was kind of strange. If you want to talk about how bad juju or bad luck travels from one series to another, we all know that Denny Hamlin has had difficulties on pit road, always has, with speeding. Somehow, some way, that bad luck traveled in the wind, in the current, over to Indianapolis and landed plop right on Scott Dixon.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. And and we could see it when he was coming in for that pit stop. He comes in, and you could see him, kind of sort of wiggling the wheel a little bit, came in hot, trying to scrub off speed. And we were like, oh, no. Yep. Oh, gosh. Yep. Oh, man. And sure enough, yeah.
Oh, man. One of those kind of events like that, the Indy 500, you don't want to have end like that in terms of,
yeah, exactly.
You want to give those fans something to see. The Scott Dixon fans, someone may have had a small wager on Scott Dixon to finish inside the top 5, and
sure
was looking pretty good there for a minute, and didn't.
Yeah,
but
but I mean, given Scott Dixon, it probably wouldn't have paid out all that great.
Right. No,
he's the Iceman.
It's
and
true.
And every now and then it's good to see that, guys like this, like a Jimmy or a Scott Dixon, they're actually human. It's strange to see when that happens, but it does happen from time to time.
Yeah.
So, it's the Indy 500. A lot of eyes are on that race, but it certainly doesn't, necessarily tarnish Scott's legacy all that much. The guy's again superhuman. They call him the Iceman for a reason.
Absolutely. All right, let's real quick. So, what's it like getting out of Indy? 300,000+ people. Like, do you just hang out? Like, what's the clear out time for that race?
Oh no, I was home in 5 minutes. I'm lying.
Okay.
I'm absolutely lying. No, it's tell you what, it takes a while to leave the parking lot, and then I would say, boy, we probably went about 15 miles the opposite direction from our house, and in this roundabout way to get home because of the way that they filter traffic.
Okay.
I don't pretend to know like what the traffic egress plan is for Indianapolis Police Department, but all I know is I think we actually might have been to Columbus, Ohio, before we were able to actually cut left and go back home.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's nuts.
Yep,
that's intense. All right, the 600. We got some tire issues. We've got a lot of issues for some of the guys up at the top that didn't favor too well. Denny Hamlin picks up the win. We had flips. We had carnage. We had everything at the Coke 600. Like,
yeah, exactly. I looked at the Gluck poll, rightfully so. This one was a huge favorite of people, and I mean, I was just stunned, amazed. Like I said on Twitter, like 1/3 of the field in the race. By the end, I was sitting on my couch at home, glued to the TV.
Yep.
Just like Austin Cindric and unfortunately Corey LaJoie and all these other people, who had wrecked out early and probably gotten home and were in their PJs by the time that this race concluded.
Yes.
All 619.5 miles, but I cannot remember a 600 that fantastic. Again, I'm not an engineer. I don't know why these new cars are so hard to, get under control at the Charlotte Motor Speedway Oval, but thank God they're not, because that was fantastic. Now, I say that as somebody who doesn't own one of these cars.
Sure, fair.
But, it's
stock.
Yes, but I mean, but if you think about it, it was a lot of firsts there. We could have theoretically had the first ever instance where a wrecked car is delivered, because we're in Charlotte. Okay, we're in Charlotte Motor Speedway. We could have had the first instance where a wrecked car is delivered to Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car graveyard before the race it wrecked out of was even over.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Call Guinness, man.
That would have. I think Junior needs to maybe make that happen next year. Let's have that plan. Let's see if we can have a wrecker lined up, ready to go. First one on there.
Yeah.
Let's see how quickly we can get it to the graveyard.
Yes, exactly. If it can be delivered before the race ends, my gosh, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
We'll plan that for next year's 600.
That could be the side by side, kind of like here's your live race feed, and here's the tracker.
Exactly. Yeah, like a helicopter going down the interstate, following. And granted, we would stop at a certain point because you don't want to tell the millions and millions of people watching exactly where Dale Jr. lives. Fair. We'll leave that part out, but I think that'd be fantastic. It would be awesome. A good little stunt we could pull. I'll work on that with all of my clout, Brandon. I will make that happen.
Please do. We'll sponsor it. I'll sponsor it. The lap.
There we go.
Live feed cam.
Exactly.
Because you're going to be lap traffic if your car's on the way to the graveyard. So. Yes,
exactly. Now we will have to have a police escort. I know what traffic is like out there. We can't have any delays or anything like that. If there is, perhaps we chopper it.
I love it.
Perhaps we chopper the carcass of the car and just drop it from the air. This has viral all over it. I love this idea, and I'm glad we thought of it.
Yes, I love it. That's great, man. All right, let's tire issues. Is it an issue or is it not an issue?
Again, I know what I'm smart enough to diagnose and what I'm not, and that's certainly not one of them. All I know is that whatever is happening, I I enjoy this added variable. And, if the case is that they're not exactly, putting to the correct pressure or doing something in the setup that is causing this issue, man, I love it. I love that at Kansas because it was this huge, variable that added to the race. Take when Kurt Busch finally got by Kyle Larson, right? 7 to go. Typically that would be like, okay, set sail, he's done. Yep. We had 7 laps to go and 7 laps of potential tire issues that, could have, caused another caution and another restart. Again, it's this variable that they have to manage. And, if it adds to the race and the thrill, I'm absolutely all for it.
I am with you there 100%. Yeah. I like it when, like I like the variable aspect when it's an individual incident that brings out maybe another yellow. Yeah. I'm not a fan of it, just like I'm not a big fan of the wrecks at Talladega and Daytona, to where that casualty then becomes someone else's innocent bystander kind of thing. But I'm with you. I think it's added to multiple races this year.
Oh yeah, exactly. I'm but again, I'm not smart enough to figure that out, but they are.
Me either.
Yep.
Me either. What else is going on over the summer, man? What races are you going to get to?
We are currently working on that right now. I'm going to go to the second Atlanta race. I was really, really enthralled with what I saw with the first one, and we are in the process of getting Bristol playoffs set up.
Okay.
Because I want to be down there. I would say I want to be down there filming fights, despite what the drivers.
Right.
No matter what driver tells me not to film, I'm going to be like, First Amendment, man, First Amendment. I'm going to go, and I'm going to be wearing my Jordan Bianchi, forever shirt, which is like solidarity, my friend.
Yes.
And doing that. And I don't know. We're kind of in the process of figuring that out. I would like to get to Watkins Glen for that Project 91 deal with Kimi Räikkönen, because I'm a proud member of what I like to call the Räikkönen entourage. Awesome. That's the group of devoted Kimi Räikkönen fans who love him for all he is and doesn't say. And I just want to see how that's all going to work.
That'd be very cool. That's going to be history in the making. I again, great for the sport. Any cross promotional type stuff. It's all good. There's no negative.
And I feel sort of bad because when they announced the thing, this whole Project 91 deal, I just started saying Räikkönen. I had no knowledge who it was. I had no information whatsoever. I was just saying it because, again, I love Räikkönen. I love the drinking bottle. I love the leave me alone, I know what I'm doing aspect of him, and all that. And then lo and behold, I wake up and they're like, it's Kimi Räikkönen. I'm like, I know I had no part in this happening, but it's social media and I'm me, so I'm going to act like I did.
I love
and
it.
So I'm like, hey, who else would you like me to summon? Let me know. I'll do it. Hey, Patrick Carpentier, I summoned thee, buddy.
Right.
We'll see. We'll see. And who knows? Maybe I like James Hinchcliffe in that ride. He's Canadian, which technically international.
Yeah.
So a lot of potential here. It's just really cool how Justin Marks is totally changing the ownership game.
Yeah. Oh man, it's great to see. And that's, not to say that, HMS and the old school guys, like, obviously are fantastic still and love it. But to get some fresh blood, Trackhouse, you've got Colleague Racing doing their thing. And it's just great to see in the sport, which is fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's really exciting, man.
Yeah. So, well, listen, man, where can everybody follow you and check out all the good stuff and all that good content that you put out there?
As usual, you can follow me on the old Twitter machine at NASCARCASM. I am on the Instagram. It's at NASCARCASM _ because I signed up for the handle without the underscore earlier, and then I forgot the password, and I can't figure it out. So hence the underscore. I'm also on TikTok too, but I suck at it, so don't find me there. There is no social media platform where I feel more like the a 60-year-old dad in dad jeans and his cell phone clipped to his belt, like walking into coach
with New Balance tennis shoes.
Yeah, walking into Coachella. That's what I feel like every time I load TikTok.
Yep.
But we're there too.
I love it. Yeah, I can't get a handle on it. I've got an account. I've tried to do it, and I can't get a grasp on it. So it's just there.
Oh man, we're old, Brandon. We are old. Let's go shopping for reverse mortgages together. How about?
Sounds great. I love it.
All right.
Awesome. Well, Kaz, man, thank you so much for coming on the show. Appreciate you. We'll get you back on here before the season ends, and appreciate the support, man.
Thank you. Like I said, I want that 10-time certificate, man.
Yes, we're going to make that happen. We will
All
make
right.
that happen. Cool, brother. All right, we'll catch you soon.
All right. Thank you, Brandon.
Yeah, we'll see you. All right. Great to catch up with Kaz there, as always. Always entertaining. And what a great idea. Let's get the lap traffic dash helicopter cam next year for the 600 and see if we can't get a car to the graveyard before the finish of the race. I think that'd be fantastic. All right, let's do some brief talk, because we're already almost a half hour in and got lots still to do. Trucks, Charlotte, pretty solid race. Love that Chastain picked up the win. I feel like Chastain missed out on a couple truck wins. So the fact that he's able to go out there after having the incredible cup year that he's having, and to go get an extra truck win, I think that's awesome. Kudos, Grant Enfinger, second place. He's a big supporter of the show, so that's great. I'm gonna do a very short truck segment here, and I'm just gonna leave it with this, just to put things into perspective here, on the importance of the rest of the regular season. There's only 6 more truck races in the regular season. It's barely June. It's May 31st, and there's only 6 races to go in the truck regular season. And there's quite a few guys outside looking in. Derek Kraus, Matt DiBenedetto, Matt Crafton is, hanging on by a thread. And if any one of these guys could go out there that's outside the top 10 and get a win, that's really going to shake some things up there. So that's how I'm going to wrap that there. Xfinity Series race was what I expected with the Cup race, and was gladly disappointed, as Kaz and I talked about a little bit ago. Josh Berry went out there and put on a clinic, kind of like we saw Martin Truex Jr. do a few years ago. He went out there, dominated this thing, stage 1, finished second, stage 2, and picked up the win there. So that's where we're at there. I think we've talked about the Cup race at length there, and I'm not done talking about it, because I'm also going to talk about it with Neudorff. So in the essence of time, I will just say this too, from a playoff perspective here. Granted, I know we've got a lot more than just 6 Cup races to go, like I talked about in the Truck Series, but we have 3 drivers with wins outside the top 16. So if you keep that in perspective, Eric Jones ain't making the playoffs. Austin Dillon isn't making the playoffs, and Eric Almirola isn't making the playoffs. And based on where things are with the points, if Tyler Reddick, Kevin Harvick don't pick up wins, and some of these other guys are able to go maybe sneak 1 or 2 more wins that aren't inside the top 10, we got Nashville coming up. We've got a trip to Daytona coming up. There are some ways that some spoilers could happen here, and could really throw some wedges into what our Cup playoffs are going to look like. So I'm pretty excited about that. Now, one of the things that I did tweet out with the Lucky Dog and Lap Down thing was is there a tire issue? Is this something that needs to be addressed? Is it something that, should be forced upon? And I wanted to get your guys' takes. So let's see what you guys had to say. Scott at 1985 Wagner. Let's see here. Drivers and crews need to watch the limits of the tires, or give teams 2 choices of tire compounds to choose from. Could you imagine that? That would be remarkable. And let alone 2 compounds. What if we, it'll never happen, but what if we had 2 different manufacturers of tires to choose from. That, man, sorry. Braxton at Braxton Chris. The tire, quote unquote, problem is brought about by the teams. The tires don't fail when Goodyear recommendations are followed. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Oh, what an analogy. And I am notorious at a carnival, Cedar Point, whatever. I am a sucker for midway games. I tell you what. Colin at Colin_with_cars. As far as the tire issue goes, I'm wondering if the sidewalls either don't have enough flex because they're so small, or if it's a compound issue or an underinflation issue. I would say maybe it's A or C because of the camera angle showing the ripples in the tires. Look at you going in depth. I love it. Jason at JAStone29. Tire issue equals one of two solutions. Either let teams get their own equipment like in the past or go back to 5 lugs. Oh, look at that. Mick at GoDucks5_Mick. I don't think there's a tire problem. Teams will push the limits for speed. Sometimes it comes with a cost. Love it. And Rowdy at the Rowdy Dragon. Wheel/tire issue. I think most would agree 2 nuts is better than 1. Oh, I love the humor there. And Rowdy, I know you posted a new website account with some fantasy content and all that stuff. That's awesome. Go follow at the Rowdy Dragon and go check that out if you aren't already. So here's my take. Initially, I thought we did have a tire problem. And just to kind of expound upon what I had talked about with Kaz is I like the fact that there's the potential. Like this is another way that teams can maybe find speed, can lose speed and find themselves behind the wall with 100 laps to go in a race. And that creates new opportunity for someone else to go out there and maybe pick up a win. And I get you can't control all variables in terms of, well, I like it when it's maybe a single car incident, and that's because they, as a team, were trying to push something and it didn't work out. I don't like it when an innocent bystander is taken out in the crosshairs of said incident on the track. So, but that said, I'm all about letting the team sort it out, let them do what they want to do. I did not have that opinion earlier on in the year. I didn't have it when we were at Atlanta. But I have it now. And I think that I kind of like it. I like what we're getting with the car. I mean, who would have thought that's what we were going to get at Charlotte at a cup race? I think it's absolutely fantastic. So, all right, I will leave it with that. Lots more to do. It's almost time for the social media segment. So let's get Cameron from at Atlanta_racing and Jennifer from at throwbackbrand.com. All right, Lap Traffic Nation, joining me on the line, making their first appearances on the show, have been a part of some great giveaways that have helped the podcast get over 6,000 followers a couple weeks ago and growing. They've got great content of their own, great products of their own. Welcome to the show from at Atlanta_racing Cameron, and joining from the throwbackbrand.com, it's Jennifer. Guys, what's going on? How are you?
Doing great. How about you, Brandon?
Oh, man, awesome. Happy to be here. Heading into Memorial Day weekend, which is great. Jennifer, how are you?
Great. Just gearing up for summer.
Yes,
it's a great
I know.
time of year for us.
It's finally feels like it's finally here. Like my wife's got the heat on today. Like, it's like 64, drizzly, rainy here in Metro Detroit. Like we just can't put it together up here. But as our friend Brian Neudorff at NASCAR_WXMAN always tells me, I chose to live here. So. and he's not wrong, because I could have left, but here I still am. So Memorial Day, we got the Coke 600, the Indy 500, we got Monaco, huge weekend of racing coming up this weekend. It's kind of, Darlington's really kind of like the throwback weekend, but I kind of feel like the Coke 600 is like, if there was a mini version of a throwback, it's kind of like that, just because of the tradition behind the 600. What do you guys got going on for Memorial Day weekend? Barbecues, all that good stuff. What do you guys got going on?
Yeah, I'm actually going up to Lake Lanier here in Georgia to a friend's engagement party. So looking forward to that. Going to the lake house, getting on the boat. Yeah, doing some barbecuing. How about you, Jennifer?
So we are actually setting up at the Summer Nights Cruise in Somerset, Kentucky. It's one of our favorite events. We do it. I think it's every fourth Friday in the summertime from like April to October. So we get to go down there and just kind of get out and meet people, give them a chance to see our products up close and personal, and also hear from them what they like and what they want to see more of. So it's something that, it's kind of a family thing, and it's close by, but it's something big enough that brings in a lot of folks. So we really enjoy going there.
That's awesome. I'm going to have the smoker cranked up, and we're going to be throwing some meat on there. That's for sure. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet, but there's meat going on the smoker. That's what I know. All right. So Cameron, talk a little bit about your content. E-racing broadcaster, you got massive giveaways that are going on. Talk about the history behind, the account, the handle itself, and the inspiration behind it.
Yeah, so my Twitter account originally was back when I was a producer and DJing music all the time here in Atlanta. And then, I kind of just had it. I wasn't really doing anything with it. And then on Xbox, I started, just coming out with friends and doing, broadcasting for fun. And then one day somebody was like, hey, could you do it for my league? And I was like, sure. So it kind of progressed from there. And then, COVID hit and I was like, hey, this is a perfect time to get iRacing and, build a computer and kind of get into it a little bit more. So that's exactly what I did. Kind of just started building myself and building the computer up and the leagues I worked with. And yeah, it's been great so far. And Atlanta Racing, I had about 6 or 7 names I had picked out. And I asked my fiance, and she said she liked Atlanta Racing the best. So that's the one I went with. And I feel like it has, a lot to it because I'm from Atlanta, and now people call me Atlanta. So it's kind of weird. That's because
awesome. I love that.
I work in Atlanta. So now I'll hear Atlanta and I'm like, that's not me. But when I hear it, past 8 p.m., pretty much I know it's me. But, with the giveaways, you earn money through Twitch. I earn money through broadcasting. And luckily, I don't really have to use it for much. So I was, what can I do with it? I'm going to give it back to everybody. So I started doing these giveaways, and the first couple I did, they just gained more and more traction. And then, Throwback Brand, working alongside 312 Motorsports, knew them and was like, hey, you want to work together and kind of grow each other's profiles. And that's exactly what we did. So it's been really nice to do these giveaways. I feel like a lot of people appreciate it, and they can kind of get some gear maybe they would never get their hands on or hard to get their hands on. And, Throwback Brand has some fantastic gear as well as Lap Traffic Podcast. But I can tell you right now, those hats and those koozies, that's what people love.
I love it.
Every time.
That's great. You mentioned before we started recording that you like my voice, and as you mentioned DJ, I'm like, man, like something tells me you could, you could throw out a call letter or two out there, and you've got that voice too, man. Absolutely.
Well,
I know. I'm so
I appreciate
jealous.
it.
I'm
I
so
appreciate
jealous.
it.
Jennifer, talk a little bit about you guys, the throwbackbrand.com, the history and the products that you guys got out there.
Yeah, so our entire family is just kind of into old school stuff. My husband and I, even our kids, we're all into kind of retro vibes. So also during pandemic, I guess that changed a lot of people's lives because, we're sitting around. My husband's always been looking for some really cool retro hats that he, used to have growing up, or his dad or his granddad. And there just wasn't really a market out there. So he decided, hey, let's start a business in the middle of this pandemic. And I said, okay. So we launched in 2020 in September, and it's just really taken off. Surprised us to no end because people just really like the products. And you don't, I tell people all the time, you don't sell hats, you're selling nostalgia. You're selling that feeling that they got when they were with their granddad at the races, or a hat that their dad used to wear. So I think that's kind of what we really like about it.
I mean, you've got the definite vibe of the old school trucker mesh hat patch logo. Where does the art come from? Do you guys have a designer? Like, because you've got some great designs. Where's that coming from?
Yeah, so it just totally depends. Sometimes we work with different organizations that want their own artwork done. Sometimes we work with companies that have gone out of business, and we reach out to them and say, hey, you know what, you guys, like, there's a local bar that was really kind of famous and everybody wanted their products, but they went out of business, but everybody still wanted it. So we have a lot of folks that reach out to us about their own things that they want to do. And we also work with a lot of the like Jeremy Mayfield, the Green Brothers, Buzzy Rudiman. We've worked with a lot of them to just make their own patches that we can sell and that they can sell as well. So it just totally depends on the product and the business and who's wanting to do what. But we do have a graphic designer that we work with who's pretty phenomenal and can whip out some things for us. So I think that's one of the things that sets us apart.
I mean, I'm just throwing this out there. The Lap Traffic Podcast has a store on the website. And it's there, doesn't get a lot of traction because I think probably because I give so much shit away for free, to be honest with you. But I don't know, maybe the Throwback Brand needs to just take over the Lap Traffic Podcast store and do some.
I mean,
stuff.
we definitely need to make a Lap Traffic hat for sure.
I think that'd be amazing. Absolutely amazing. So we'll talk offline here and see what we can put together. I think that'd be fantastic. Custom orders, like someone just wants an image. They've got their, maybe they're an iRacer that runs with one of Cameron's leagues, and they just want to get their design. Do you do single order type stuff, or do you try to stick to either bulk stuff or images and stuff like that you guys already have on your website?
We do a little bit of both. So we do custom orders of all types, from, race teams to small businesses, pretty much all over the country as well. So we've done things in Alaska and Maine and Texas and pretty much everywhere. So we really think that, that graphic design, having that local family-run business vibe, but also being able to have the resources has really set us apart. I think that probably the biggest thing that people, really like is just that personal touch. So they can reach out on our website and we can work with them to build their own design or something that they've already had. Some of the folks, like we did a dentist office one time, their folks had the logo, they knew exactly what they wanted, and we just made the patch for them, and that's okay too. Sure. And we work with some people who are like, hey, you know what, I used to have this hat, and they kind of help us design it in their mind. Yep. And that's how we work with them. So it just depends.
My wife rehabs furniture as a little side gig. And there are, like you just said, there are some people that are like, this is what I want redone to this piece of furniture, and she does it. And there are others where they're like, hey, I've seen the work you've done. I just want this color and go run with it. And those are the pieces that end up coming out the best there. So I totally get that. One thing I love is your company's design and logo. Throwback Brand itself has its own cool, unique, design and look to it, to where I'll just wear something that says Throwback Brand, and that can kind of spark its own conversation piece and all that, which is awesome. Cameron, talk a little bit about your e-racing background, how you got into the broadcasting, the different, leagues or where you're at on that side of things.
Yeah. So I started playing NASCAR games a long time ago, even though I'm not that old. I started playing NASCAR 98, sitting on my dad's lap and steering, and he was doing the pedal. So ever since I was little, all I heard about was Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt. And I remember being at my friend's house the day, unfortunately, that Dale passed, and they were such huge Dale fans. And it was hard for me then to understand, but now I get it. Yeah. It was just such a impactful moment, not only to NASCAR, but the whole automotive world, the whole sports world. So, I kind of took a break, I would say, for about 10, 12 years, didn't really watch NASCAR too much. My dad was watching it. I'd watch it with them. Sure. But then I really started kind of getting back into it. I don't know what it was. Got into Formula One as well and got back into NASCAR. And then NASCAR Heat is really where, I started doing all the league racing and making all those friends and got into the broadcasting on that side. But I've just been such a huge NASCAR fan, I feel like, for at least 4 or 5 years now. But it's really been my whole life that I've done stuff with NASCAR. Even I remember in Cub Scouts, we had to make stuff out of cutting magazines. And I cut out a picture of Jeff Gordon from my friend's magazine, and his mom got mad because she said, well, maybe he wanted to use Jeff Gordon. Well, everybody wants to use Jeff Gordon. Okay.
Right.
But I got him first. So I put him on my thing. But, thinking back in my life, like I remember just going to races and stuff, and it's crazy to see where I've gotten now, just broadcasting. And I'm not feel like in the NASCAR world, but I'm at least in the e-racing world.
Sure.
And, I've had my Atlanta Racing logo on Chris Hacker's truck for a couple of races in the truck series.
Awesome.
Done a couple of things with just great organizations and charities. And I've been really fortunate to meet some really great people along the way. So, 2022 has so far been a huge year for me. And I'm hoping that next year is even bigger. So we'll see where it goes.
Have you done anything with Landon Castle and Parker Kligerman's E-Racer series?
No, I haven't. Usually when it comes to that kind of stuff, I'll usually go on Twitter and see if they have their DMs open. If they do, I'll just say something along the lines of, hey, my name's Atlanta Racing. I'm an esports broadcaster. If you ever need somebody, just let me know. So I know for Ryan Vargas, I've done that before, and he was like, okay, yeah, I'll let you know. But I haven't, haven't heard anything. But he's a super nice guy. I met him when I was at the truck race at Atlanta. But, I've done stuff with Chris on his, platforms and stuff like that. But nobody, I feel like, too big yet.
Well, I tell you what, I know Ryan has raced in Parker's and Landon's E-Racer series. And I have done some work with them. So I will see if I can't make a connection there for you guys to at least see if there's something there to work with, whether, behind the scenes, front of the scenes, whatever the case may be. We'll see if we can't put something together there for you. Let's see here. Jennifer, you guys grew up racing fans, or does it just work the connection here with Atlanta Racing?
Oh, definitely grew up racing fans. Yeah. So we always say that raisins in the Barnett blood, and I know I married into it, but I guess a little bit of it got to me because my husband's grandparents were diehard NASCAR fans. They went to every race, took their kids in tow. My father-in-law and his brother both raced at local short tracks. And so it's always been in the family, and it's kind of just stayed that way. They always had season tickets to Bristol, growing up back in the NASCAR heyday. So yeah, we love taking our kids there, and they're going to go as well this year. So
that's awesome. You'll appreciate that's the first, pre-podcast, just going as fans. The first race I took I don't even know if we were engaged yet. So I'll call her my girlfriend at the time, now my wife. She fell asleep in the stands. It was like a 90-degree, sitting at the top of turn 1 at Michigan, and she just passed out. And, fast forward, probably, 3 or 4 years after that, before the podcast got started. And, now she, pre-COVID, when we were doing live shows in the media center, she's talking with the PR reps as I'm interviewing the drivers, and, full circle moment to where, she's a little bit a part of the sport as well. So that's awesome. So I totally get them married into it, because she will say the only lie I ever told her was that, yeah, I kind of like NASCAR. So, Cameron, talk a little bit about the Twitch side of things, because I imagine with doing e-racing, iRacing, I think those two are synonymous. Is it different trying to grow a social media handle on Twitch versus Twitter?
Yeah, it's totally different. It's so much harder on Twitch than it is on Twitter. And that's kind of something I have found along the way. I kind of steer clear of Facebook, but other social media sites like Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, Twitch is, more of live streaming, but still you have that following there, and it's a lot harder on Twitch. I gained 1,000 followers on Twitter in like a month and a half, maybe a month. It took me, a year and a half to hit 1,000 on Twitch. Okay. So, it's a lot harder. You're trying to get that audience over there, and you're competing with a lot of other people. Whereas on Twitter, it's not as hard to compete. It's, everybody, you just follow. But you really have to kind of stand out and make a difference on Twitch for somebody to give you that follow or subscription or donate, whatever it might be. Sure. So I have definitely found that going on Twitch and trying to get those follows is super hard. And, that's kind of where some of those giveaways incentive came from. Like, hey, follow me on Twitch and you can enter your giveaway. And I did that for 1 or 2, and I got maybe 20 or 30 followers from it. But Twitter seems to be where those giveaways really, really work.
They pop, that's for sure. I wish as many Twitter followers I had as many downloads every week I had. Not quite there, working on it. But I mean, I think it's awesome to grow the brands this way. To me, giveaways are kind of a pyramid scheme. In terms of, the right retweet at the right time can trigger, a bunch of different follows, and that's why I post the show at certain times. I interact at certain times. It's that niche that, you kind of hone in on, which is great. And I think that's awesome. So let's see. Let's wrap with this. Cameron, hit your accounts, hit maybe some of the upcoming giveaways if you want to do a teaser, and then we'll throw it over to Jennifer.
Sounds like a plan. So you can follow me on Twitter. It's Atlanta_racing. Instagram is Atlanta.racing. And then, of course, on Twitch, it's just Atlanta Racing. We have a ton of great giveaways coming up. I just talked to Travis, and we're getting another shipment of hats coming on over here. Still got a ton of stuff from Brandon and the Lap Traffic podcast, which I'm so appreciative of y'all sending. I actually had to go to Walmart and buy like a 3-section big plastic thing to put all my giveaway stuff in, because I would walk past my studio room and be like, looks like a volcano over there of hats and die cast and cars. But we've got a lot of stuff to give away. I still have, even though it's not NASCAR related, I do have an Amazon Echo to give away. I've got a 124 collector's edition Dale Earnhardt to give away, signed Tony Stewart 124 to give away. Maybe 25 hero cards, 20 hero cards. So awesome. Lots of great stuff. Awesome. Lots of great stuff.
Awesome. Jennifer, where can everybody follow you? Hit the website and do some plugging yourself there.
Yeah, so we're on everything pretty much. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We're at The Real Throwback Brand. So make sure you put the real in there. Basically, you can go to throwbackbrand.com, visit our website. You have lots of different options in there. So if you see something you like, if you see something that, hey, you know what? I see that hat I'd really like that patch on a red hat. Just email us and let us know. We can do that. That's the great thing about working with small business is we have a seamstress that, we literally just run it over to her house. She whips it out and we can ship it out pretty quickly. So talk about having things in your house. I have an entire room in my house of hats. So please buy the hats. We don't need that many. That's a shameless plug to get them out of my house. But so definitely understand that.
That's great. All right, guys, there you have Atlanta Racing and at the Throwback Brand. Stay tuned. We're not done interacting with either of those accounts by a long shot. Guys, thank you so much for coming on. A little bit of a different interview. I love it. I think it'll do great on the show. So thank you so much. Guys, stick around for just a second, but have a great Memorial weekend, and we'll talk to y'all soon.
Thanks. You too.
Okay, I've been told by some people that I have a radio voice, which I take as a great compliment, but I vehemently disagree with. My man Cam, I mean, he's got the voice, man. Like, I think I need to have him record a when you're listening to a baseball game or whatever, and they go, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification, or same thing, like let's pause while you're listening to the Motor Racing Network. Cam needs to record, you're listening to the Lap Traffic Podcast on your favorite hosting site. I digress. But there you have it. Great content, great giveaways. I'm going to continue to flood at Atlanta Racing with stuff to give away because the handle's growing. And if the handle's growing, that means the downloads are growing. And it's fun to give stuff away, and it's fun to grow. And, there's that. And go check out Throwback Brand. I definitely need to get a Lap Traffic patched hat. I think it would just be incredible. I have talked to them already, and we'll see what pops up down the road from Lap Traffic, Throwback Brand, Atlanta Racing, all that good stuff. So definitely stay tuned. So, all right. Let's keep things rolling. Let's get to a little Lap Traffic social media. Everybody, make sure you check out the website, thelaptrafficpodcast.com. Make sure you're following on Facebook, The Lap Traffic Podcast, Twitter at Lap Traffic PC. I wasn't sure if I was going to say TikTok, Twitch, and Twitter, and just drop those off because I clearly don't do anything on those accounts, but they're there. But make sure you're following on the Twitter at Lap Traffic PC. If you've made it this far into the show, leave a review, tell your friends, all that good stuff. Again, huge props to at Atlanta Racing and the Throwback Brand for helping us pick up so many followers over the last couple weeks. Giveaways have all been mailed out. Everyone's gotten them, which is great. And we've got some new follower shout outs. Rebecca at Rebecca_Lane97, Chase Elliott fan, Noah Gregson fan from South Carolina, Jerry Stewart at Iowa_STU, Packers, Hawkeyes, and a WWE fan. Telling you, if I could have like the ultimate variety podcast, it would be NASCAR, wrestling, and smoking meat. And I think I could tie all three of those together in a perfect little bow. Shane Rowe at Shane Rowe 53 from Ohio, Elliott fan, diecast collector. I can get behind a good diecast collector because y'all know I have quite the collection myself. And Jerry Bunkowski at Jerry Bunkowski, editor at Auto Racing Diecast, does stuff for NASCAR, Auto Week, all that good stuff. Thanks for the follow. If you guys want stickers, koozies, all you got to do, fill out the contact page on the website, thelaptrafficpodcast.com, and I will send out a koozie and stickers for free. Mailed some of those last week as well. So, all right, let's keep keeping on, and let's get Mr. Neudorff on, talk some weather and talk some Indy 500. All right, Lap Traffic Nation, joining me back on the line. It's been a minute. You can follow him on Twitter at NASCAR_WXMAN, along with several at Race Weather. Welcome back to the show. Brian Neudorff, sir, good evening. How are you?
I really thought I just got fired. I mean, you wouldn't be the first person to just, ghost me and me still work and thinking that I was part of something, and also in NASCAR. So that's a story for another time.
Yeah, no, it seems to be your week is the week I take a week off, and then you get pushed a week. So, but
yeah, you go, oh crap, Brian's on this week. I need an extra week to prepare.
An extra week to mentally get myself there for it, right?
I feel the love.
Right, of course, man. So, how was the Memorial Weekend?
Well, I got to go to the 500, so I got to see,
Yes.
500 and I get a lot of crap. I'm not up. Monaco, I've never watched the F1. I've been to an F1 race. I went to the inaugural, U.S. Grand Prix at Indy.
Okay.
And I get it, and maybe I would like it now more, but I don't know how to start. Like, it's one of those things. It's like I've got enough interest. It's like, do I really need to add any more?
Right.
So for all those, and like somebody was just literally was like asking me, "Well, did you predict this rain?" And I'm like, no, because I've never done a forecast for Monaco. You can go see Aaron for that one. Okay.
Yeah, he got you covered.
Yeah, he's got you good. I and nothing against, and again, don't at me I'm not hating on F1. I'm just saying it's not my thing. So
yep. I'm with you. So how was it? Do you have a good, what time did you have to get there, and
Okay, so yeah, our days
clear out and all that kind of stuff.
Our day start. I mean, I've been many times. If I'd gone every year, I've been going since I was 12.
Yeah,
but with huge gaps in between. So I'm not a consistent. This is one of my first times back in a very long time.
Okay.
And we had never made it. Never done this journey. It was very different than past ones. Usually, I go with my parents.
Okay.
When they were living in Indiana, we would go, and my stepdad had a way to get a police escort in. They would park at the Turn 2 hotel. So I mean, we were covered. I mean, you're talking about go doing this in style.
Of course.
So this year it was like, oh, hey, we got to figure out where to park. And but we left Louisville around 6:00 in the morning, got up to just at the south side of Indy around a little before 8, about 8:00, maybe straight up, started heading to the track. And I think it was about 9:30 that we were, in our seats. So, I mean, traffic was slow, but overall it was in, and then we just kind of chilled a little bit. I didn't drive in. So I had some friends of mine, they had a van, and so they drove us in. And so we just kind of chilled, let the herd kind of just, plus if you're from the area, you kind of know you don't take the main highways and stuff like that. So you take some more of the back ways and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a good day. It was, the best part, there was shade for us basically the entire time. So no sunburn.
Awesome. Good deal.
Yeah.
Did you get back to watch any of the 600 or no?
No, when we got back, we were already tired. I mean, we didn't get back until probably
sun exhaustion.
7:00. Yeah, 7. We didn't get probably back to our area until 7:00 at night.
Okay.
And then we had dinner, and because it was really the only evening that we had everyone together, or nobody has to work the next day, we decided to go see Top Gun Maverick.
Awesome.
So we had a 10:10 showing.
Okay.
And again, it was a situation of just who we had available to with the boys at home, and so not to spend more money to go multiple times. Sorry, NASCAR fans. I did rewatch the last 100 laps, which seemed to be about where a lot of the activity was.
There's a lot going on there. Yes.
I know I don't win any awards for endurance, but I already had put in 500 miles, so I figured the last 100 laps I still got 600. So probably not, but still close.
So Top Gun, good.
Yeah. How do you like the first one?
So I'm going to be completely honest and say that I am one of maybe like 5 or 6 people in the country, the world, that haven't seen it. We have a monthly meeting, and we have our own little welcome card and membership card, So yeah, I've never seen Top Gun. So.
And knowing you, that really surprised me.
No, I mean,
there's certain movies.
I've never seen any of the Star Wars or Star Treks.
Listen, I used to joke to people about that one, but I get it. Star Wars, Star Trek. If you're not into that culture, that's fine. I get that. I mean, not everybody's into that. I'm okay with that. But it's like you and Top Gun and military and.
I've never seen any of the the Marvels, any of the comic movies. Nothing.
Again, that's a different culture, and I get that with you. I know, but I mean, but it's like saying you've not seen, I don't know. I know you've probably seen most sports movies out there. I mean, Field of Dreams, right? You've seen Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams, Blue Chips. I'm just not a movie guy. Like my wife can get me to the movies maybe once a year, maybe twice if it's one I have an interest in.
All right. Talladega Nights, I'm hoping you saw.
Of course, Talladega Nights, yes. Days of Thunder,
you don't have to. By the way, just so you know.
Yes.
Do you have Netflix?
I do have Netflix.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
I'm gonna guess Top Gun.
Yeah.
Should probably check it out.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about going to a movie theater. I'm just like, it hasn't been in the theater since 1986. I was as a youngin'. I've had ample opportunity.
I will tell you what, I will make it because odds are we'll get pushed to 3 weeks before you're back on. So I've got plenty of time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting
mail it. I will give you a full report.
Okay.
The original Top Gun by the next time you're on the show.
I honestly think I think the next time I'm on is what, Homestead or Phoenix? Right. I think the last Phoenix, the last race of the season.
Yep. Oh, that's great. All right. Well, I'll have a report this weekend.
Good. Now, by the way, just for those who want to know, and I'm probably going to get a lot of flack, so you're not the only horrible person on this podcast today when it comes to Top Gun. I liked it. I liked it. You know, a lot of people were saying it's better than the original. I definitely think it's not worse than the original.
Okay.
It's just as good. I like both of them. I don't want to give it into anything because it will be spoilers for you. It's not really. It's not like a movie that has serious spoilers.
Sure.
I liked it, but I wasn't like everybody on social media who was just wow and blown away. I liked it, but I also have some issues with it. So it's not the best movie. It's not the best movie I've seen recently. So that's how. But I liked it and I enjoyed it, and I came back and rewatched the original one, and I still now just absolutely stand by the first thing I said. So
there is one movie that I would say. No, there's two movies that I would say are either the second or third were better than the first. And the first is Bad Boys 2 was way better than Bad Boys 1. And Ocean's 13 was the far superior Ocean's movie, in my opinion. But
all right.
There's my side rant there.
I know we have to get things, but I don't want to glance over the Indy 500 because I was there. Yes. So sorry, I don't mean
you're good.
You dissuade from the weather because I know you're on a tight schedule.
I am on a schedule. Yes.
He's got just for everybody to know, he's got way more important people to talk to than me.
I mean,
he even called me, but he even sent me a text and said, "Are you sure you want to do weather? I'm not sure I got room for this." He was betting between Aaron and I, like, who can do this in the less amount of time.
Right.
So it was just, he was like, I have an app that tells me the forecast. Do I really need you?
Right. All right. So Indy.
You know, it's definitely one of those situations where, first of all, I for anybody who wants to, I mean, first of all, I get it. There's the Johnson haters. Okay, they were haters of Johnson in NASCAR, and now these in IndyCar. They don't like him.
Yeah,
and it's typically the same people.
Yeah.
Here's my take. I was there at the race, and we had a little pool, amongst family. And none of my drivers or none of my wife's drivers. She got first out. That was about it. And my son had every single of his drivers DNF. So, and he didn't have Jimmy, but so I forgot. Paolo. Yeah, Paolo, who drove the number 10, was one up there through the first, quarter of the race, was up there with Scott Dixon, back and forth teammates, had a fast car, has a problem on pit road, got caught. Not actually, more or less, he was in the wrong place at the wrong time when a caution came out on pit road that went closed. So now he's way back there. He's back there with Jimmy. And during that entire time, people are like, well, Jimmy wasn't doing anything. Well, Paolo wasn't doing anything. You obviously was seeing that if you were way back in the pack, say 15 or so, or in the bottom 10, or beyond 10, you couldn't pass, you couldn't do anything. So I don't necessarily think that's necessarily a testament of what Jimmy and the equipment. I think it was just a testament of the cars and the environment when you weren't in the lead packs.
Yep.
So if anybody who wanted to, I thought he did pretty well overall. I mean, except for that last, he got on, and that happened to a lot. I mean, he got off on the track, and that's going to happen in those cars, and he lost it. So that's my other take. So very surprising about Scott Dixon. He was the car to beat. I mean, all day long, he was the car, and then to just mess it up. I mean, you can't have those mistakes at the Indianapolis 500. Yeah. And and then at the, I was glad that first wreck that Jimmy didn't cause the race to end under caution, but then ultimately the race ended under caution.
Right. Yeah.
But still,
pretty close. I mean, they got to race back to it almost before that came out. So
yes,
the fans got the crazy wild restart. I forget who was running second to Ericsson, but I don't think he was catching him anyways if that had stayed green. So they got. Oh,
I know. Yeah, I know. Mm-hmm. So. And I mean, and the fact that TK was there in third, too bad he couldn't get it. But no, overall, I thought it was good. It's not as good as some of the other ones that we've seen, but still really cool. And then I did, like I told people, and I did watch the last part, actually just watched the last part of the Coke 600. Very interesting with the different wrecks. And of course, what we had at the end, it seems like, what you expect at the end of a NASCAR race. I mean, we've seen a lot of Coke 600s where somebody just runs away with it and it's just dominant from start to finish, or, comes on and just dominates and then just ends up winning. So it was kind of nice to see that competitive aspect.
Absolutely. No, I mean, this was I mean, to see people excited and engaging on social media about, hey, what a great race and all of this, like, it was nice to see. Like, I wasn't expecting it, so yeah, I think it was a great weekend of racing overall. So.
Yeah, I mean, I heard Monaco was a snooze fest. That was pretty much the only thing I could get out of social media from that one. Again, I don't pay much attention, but
that was the one predictable one apparently. So
okay.
Oh, I mean, and we knew Indy was going to be good. There's no doubt about that. And then we just got the cherry on the top with the 600. So
yeah, the atmosphere again is just if you've never been, I know even if you're a staunch NASCAR fan, you should. I've been a couple of NASCAR races, and maybe the Coke 600 and maybe Daytona is about as close as you're going to get. But there's just something about Indy. There's just something about that atmosphere and the pre-race. Now, I'm a bit biased. I'm a Purdue guy, and this. I mean, we talk about sports and we talk about our schools, but Purdue is the official host band of the Indianapolis 500. I've gotten to play a couple times back home again with Jim Nabors.
Awesome.
Cool. So, I mean, I've gotten to be a part of that pomp and circumstances. I have a much deeper history. So for me, that's my racing roots. Sure. Okay. That's where my interest of racing, really begins. And so, for me, Indy, it will and always have a special place in my heart. I'm not a NASCAR fan if it's not for Indy and the Indianapolis 500 in the month of May.
Absolutely. I love it. All right. Looking ahead this weekend, we are going to St. Louis / Portland.
I had to make sure it was Portland, Oregon, not Portland, Maine. But other than that, yes. Because I was like, Portland, that's new.
Yeah, yes. How's
going out to the Pacific? Good thing they're road courses, right?
The one is.
Oh, the one is. Which is Gateway?
No.
Portland?
Portland's the road course.
Oh, for some reason I thought Gateway was.
Yeah. Oh, they're not at Gateway. They're at Worldwide Racing Technology.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Outside of St. Louis?
Yes. Yep.
All right. Well, I don't think the odds are real high for rain, but there's a chance of rain Saturday and Sunday going into the Cup. It may come in early. Again, a lot of this comes down to timing. So I wouldn't cancel necessarily your plans at this point, but that threatening aspect is there. It may really come down to timing. I'm hoping it's later, and I'm hoping this one model I'm literally looking at right now is absolutely wrong. So that chance is there for the weekend. So that is the first concerning aspect over towards my bad. I thought for some reason Gateway. I was looking real quick at all the stuff. But I got the city location right. So Friday looks good. Saturday's mostly good, but it's Saturday night into Sunday. But again, it's not cancel your plans bad at this point, but we are still fairly early. And then as far as good thing Portland is, I mean, it is the Pacific Northwest. They are known for being wet and rainy.
Yeah.
So, yes, showers likely on Saturday, especially towards the afternoon on a cool day. And, when you use the word likely, that means the odds, the precipitation is fairly good.
Fairly good. All right. Well, we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll see some rain slicks out there, and we'll go from there. So,
as far as as far as the areas out towards temperatures will be Sunday temperatures 84, maybe about like 500. Again, it's just a matter of when does rain come in. So that's going to be the big issues. Rain at location, definitely Portland is right now leaning as the wettest location. And again, as a road course, that's not horrible. But then again, we have to turn our attention to the races there. And so Friday's good and Saturday's good as of now, but the precipitation chances are there for Sunday.
All right. Cool. Awesome, man. Well, listen, great to catch up with you. Can't wait to give you my feedback on Top Gun, and we'll catch you in a couple weeks.
Sounds good, and I hope it will be in 2 weeks.
It's a good possibility. Yes, good possibility. So,
unless it's like, okay, you have Aaron on, you take 2 weeks, right, have Aaron on. No, just teasing.
All right, Lap Traffic Nation. Make sure you follow Brian on Twitter at NASCAR_WXMAN, and we'll catch you soon, brother.
Sounds like a plan, man.
See ya. All right. Great to catch up with Neudorff. I will watch Top Gun and guys have to see what happens. All right. You guys know what the barking dogs means. It's time for this week's Lucky Dog Lapdown Picks. You guys know the drill. After the race, tweet your picks, and I will read them on the show, tag you guys on social media. This week, my Lucky Dog, the fans, for a great weekend of racing. The lap down are the Detroit Tigers, because they're just abysmal. All right, let's get to your picks. Scott at 1985 Wagner, Lucky Dog, Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin tie. If you watch the race, no explanation. A lap down, race with Priest, Karma bit you in the ass after you comment Friday night. Next 2 races, you spin on your own. Sorry, I don't want to race like you. Damn, Scott dropping the hammer with that one. I love it. Braxton at Braxton Chris, a Lucky Dog has to be Hamlin. He literally was lucky to win the race, lap down to all the strong cars that got wiped out. 100%. Chris at USMC _ NASCAR Fire. Lucky Dog, incredible day of racing. Started at 0600-ish, wrapped up at 2100-ish. What a day. Lap down, the friends that are no longer with us. Semper Fi to all, regardless of branch. I love it, Chris. That was wonderful. Colin at Colin _ cars. Lucky Dog to Hamlin. We looked to be a lock for Larson, changed so quickly, and he was in the right spot. Lap down to the big one that took out Bubba, Blaney, and a few other of my drivers. A lot of lap traffic players, fantasy players, impacted by the outcome of that one for sure. Dale Dust at Real David Kahn. Lucky Dog, Tyler Riddick, ended up pulling out a 6th place finish. Lap down the other RCR car, Austin Dillon. Made a move, almost won, but well, hey, he kind of stole one a few years ago, didn't he? If memory serves correctly. So, hey, you got to go for it. Fritz at Fritz Z 9824. Lucky Dog Dennis for his Mickey Mouse win. Lap down all the drivers who spun out to Busher for his crazy ride. That was nuts. What a flip. What a flip. Jason at JStone29. Lucky Dog was definitely the 11, 18, and 4 for getting through that last wreck. Lap down was a 17 car for landing on its top. Yeah, man. Thankfully, got out. All right. Matt at Camper News Net. Lucky Dog to the finishes of both the Indy 500 and Coke 600, as they were both very exciting finishes. Plus, the Coke 600 was one of the wildest races in a long time. No disagreement there. A lap down for all the tire issues. Mitch at Just Mitch and Lucky Dog. I'd say race fans had an awesome racing all day and all night long. A lap down, 2311 racing another week of having fast cars, but not being able to finish races is killing them. And the Rowdy Dragon, Lucky Dog, Denny Hamlin puts himself in the right position to capitalize. The list grew too long as the race went on. I gave up on the drivers that am giving the lap down to the yellow flag waiver. He's going to be sore. I love it. Beautiful. All right. That's the Lucky Dog lap down pick. All right, Lap Traffic Nation, let's close this thing out with a little lap traffic fantasy. You guys know the drill. Get your picks in by 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Thursday. Check the website, see where you're at in the standings. Keep the Twitter interaction up using hashtag LTFantasy. We've got a lot more cup racing to go. Segment 2 is just underway. There's a lot of ties. It's close. I love it. We'll get to that in just a second. Right now, joining me on the line for this week's fantasy segment, longtime follower of the show, big-time supporter of the show. He is out there bringing you NASCAR content as well as awareness to MSA. Welcome back at Storm and B81, Brian Loeffel. Brian, what's up, man? How are you?
Not too much. Pretty good. How are you doing?
Hey, man, another day in paradise, podcast night. I love it. What'd you think of race weekend? Did you take in Monaco, Indy, and all that good stuff, too?
I miss Monaco.
I think a lot of us did.
But yeah. The wife made me go to church, and happy wife, happy life.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, but was home in time for Indy. Enjoyed it. I thought that was a great race.
It's delivered like the last 5-7 years, no doubt about it.
Oh yeah, and then Charlotte. I thought there was going to be a little bit more cautions. I didn't expect the chaos that ensued. I don't even think you could describe it any more than chaos.
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, and that's not something that we typically see there, right? Like, I mean, we're used to we're used to Martin Truex Jr. going out there and just, leading, 385 laps of 400, but 18 caution laps 18 caution flags, 90 laps, a quarter of the race almost under caution. That's crazy for a 600-mile race.
Oh yeah, and then they had to throw in, Talladega in there with Chris Buescher.
Right? Man, that's crazy. The replay on that was sick.
Oh, yeah.
So, well, man, hey, I mean, you finally scored some points in LT Fantasy. Nice job.
About time, if I put my picks out there, don't pick who I've been picking. They usually find the way to the back.
Well, the last time you were on, because when I sent you a text, it was last August. So it's been about a year of bad luck for you.
Oh, yeah. Like the old saying goes, if it wasn't for bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck.
Right? You and I both, we struggle in the league, but we had some pretty decent picks this week. I went with Truex. Allgaier did pretty good for me, and I had Smith in the Truck Series for 126. You had Kyle Busch, Allgaier, and Smith as well for 131. So we were right there with each other.
The comeback is coming. Cue the comeback.
There you go. Don't call it a comeback. Don't
yeah,
call it a comeback.
Knock on wood.
Right? All right, let's hit the top 10 here. Segment 2. Currently in first place is Joe Roche with 231. Pete Curvin is in second with 211. Josh Rolfe in third with 201. Kenny Hunt in fourth with 200. Mark Ludington in fifth with 198. Good old B. Wayne, Brett Morris, and Joe Nolf are tied in sixth with 197. Yours truly, the Professor, and Matt Dabrowski are tied in seventh with 196. My uncle is in eighth with 195. Eric Zalen in ninth with 187. Three-way tie for 10th with 186 with Kim James, Michael Vickers, and Robert Riggs. There is our top 10, segment 2. Our bonus points, Kristen Hogland still kicking ass, our segment 1 winner with 12 bonus points. Jason Dickus with 8. We got Eric McCollum, Clem James, Mark Ludington, Scott Boyce, Scott Wagner, Tony LeBay, all with 6, and then on down from there. And then, Brian, our cumulative standings where neither one of us are anywhere near the top 16. Kristen is in first. We've got Justin Hughes in second, Jason Dickus, Tony Salt, Henry Fletcher, Michael Mason, Alan Cavana, Ray Carballo, John Warrington, Kim James, Kevin Hahn, Aaron Studwell, who will be on next week, Matt Crowd, Steven Suzuki, Joe Nolf, John Etwinsel, and Michael Elliott in the top 16 there. So there's the recap. It's on the website. Sir, what do you say? You ready to make some picks?
Oh, I'm ready.
All right, Lap Traffic Fantasy players. We are headed to Madison, but they're calling it St. Louis, where the Cup Series will make its debut at the 1.25 mile track known as Worldwide Technology Raceway. Last few years, the trucks have been the only series of the top 3 to run there. The Xfinity Series has not run there since 2010. And speaking of Xfinity, they'll be making their series debut in Portland at the Portland International Raceway. The Truck Series is the only series not debuting at a new track, so there's not much for trends, which means this could be a wild card weekend for all of us. No notebooks for the drivers or for us fantasy players. Who's going to pick up some ground? Who will pick up some debut wins? We'll find out this weekend. But first, it's time for our picks. Brian, start with you. Truck Series. Who do you got?
I was thinking about, now I'm a big Zane Smith fan, but with it being a flat track, where I think it's only I know it's 11 degrees in one corner, 9 degrees in the other two.
Yep.
Flat track, I'm thinking, road course style, even though it's not a road course, but road courses are, very flat. So I went with John Hunter Nemechek this week.
I like it. I've been riding the John Hunter train for a long time. I switched it up last week. I'm going to switch it up again this week. And I am going to go with the 99 of Ben Rhodes this week to see what kind of damage he can do for me. All right, Brian, Xfinity Series, debut, Portland, road course. Who do you got?
Yeah, another tough one. They never done, the road course here at Portland. But Junior Motorsports has been hot. There's no secret about that. But I went with Sam Mayer to get the win. I know Noah's looked good. Allgaier looked good. But yeah, I went with Sam Mayer this week.
I love it. I was going to go Allgaier, just because you want a veteran out there, someone that's going to have someone that has the ability to display patience at a new track. But I used Allgaier once already. I don't want to burn another one of his. So I am going to go with the ringer, AJ Allmendinger, for the road course race win this weekend in the Xfinity Series. All right, let's close it out. Cup race Sunday. Who do you got, Brian?
This is another hard one. They've never been here. Like I said, it's a flat track. Almost like a road course. But the Toyotas have been hot lately. They're finally coming, which we knew it was. Yep. Sooner or later they would have done it. But I'm going with Christopher Bell this week.
Christopher Bell. I like
so
that.
It's not, I know there's a Truex, but you can only use him twice. But I figure, you know what? I'm going to go with Bell this week.
Yep.
He's good on the road courses. Not that this is a road course, but it's a flat track. I think he'll do pretty good this weekend.
I am going to run the momentum train, even though they didn't have a solid week this past weekend. I think they still got enough going. I'm going to go with Ross Chastain this week and see what he can do at the debut. Trackhouse has been unstoppable. I wouldn't be surprised if they've got a good showing on Sunday. So we'll see who gets it done. Alrighty, sir. Thanks so much for calling in. Appreciate you.
No problem. Hey, you have a good one.
Thanks, man. You too. We'll talk to you soon. All right, Lap Traffic Nation, that is going to do it for episode 280 of the Lap Traffic Podcast. Make sure you check out the website, thelaptrafficpodcast.com, Twitter @LapTrafficPC. Huge thank you to NASCARCASM, Cam with Atlanta Racing, Jennifer with the Throwback Brand, Brian Neudorff, and Brian LaFell for calling into the show. We'll see what we can get cooking for next week. Don't get caught chasing the lucky dog. Make sure you tune in each and every week to the Lap Traffic Podcast. See ya!